Pranams. I first came to know about Sri Yogacharya Oliver Black in 1985. A few years back, my father had passed away suddenly, and I could never recuperate from that. So my body had gone in a state of shock, and I couldn't work for 14 months. And in that agony, somebody gave me the autobiography of a yogi. Indeed, suffering is a gift of God. I read the autobiography of a yogi, and I was transported in another dimension. And I was with the yogis of the Himalayas, and everything was vibrating. My body was not solid. And I was scared because the trees were also not solid, the ground. And then I saw the master, and his body was also wavering, not solid. And ultimately what happened is the master called me, Yogananda, and then the whole creation sounded Om, vibrated, everything vibrated. And then as I went close to him, I knelt at his feet, and he just went, wake up, my child, wake up, my child. And suddenly in this world, my wife, Zareen, at that time, woke me up saying, wake up, Jim, you're going to be late to work, wake up. And I was very touched by it. What a connection, you see. So he is all relationships. God is all relationships. And finally I called Mother Center and I said, I would like to have Kriya Yoga. And a dim voice said, can you call in the morning? I didn't realize it was 4 o'clock there. So then I called later on, and they said, well, you can't get Kriya Yoga, you have to wait, you have to take the lessons and everything. But we can guide you to Self-Realization Fellowship just across the river. And I was living in Windsor at that time. There's a Detroit Institute of Arts. Please go there, and they have regular meditation and reading. First time I went there, I was awestruck by the energy there as I entered the hall. And the late Brij Chabra was taking the service. And I knew that's where I belonged, Self-Realization Fellowship, right away. And so then Brij later on after the services in the refreshment room downstairs told me that the Yogacharya Oliver Black is a direct disciple. Immediately I said, that's the man I want to meet. I told Brij, and please tell me where he is, because I've been praying to Yogananda, I've been praying to Sai Baba, that, oh, please help me. I want to meet somebody whose life you've touched, somebody in a human form, now, present, a God-realized master. And thus I went to Song of the Morning Ranch. I had a letter in my pocket. That letter said, Yogacharya, you can discipline me. I've come for that. Please help me evolve to a higher state of consciousness. And I kept that letter. And the first thing was, we were at dinner with him. He was sitting opposite me, and I was so happy. I thought, wow, he's going to be happy. He's going to say welcome and all that. First thing he said is, put your elbows down. And I got so shocked, I didn't expect that. Then all of a sudden he says, where were you raised, on a farm? I said, no, in India. So he said, put your elbows down. So I got staggered, I said, what's happening? And my heart was beating. And suddenly my wife later, after the dinner, got up, started picking up the dishes. So I thought I should make up with him. I started picking up the dishes, and he goes again, sit down, you're not a waitress. My God, I said, wait a minute. He's not scolding Zareen, so this must be a test. And I knew it was a test because I've been around Sai Baba and he scolded me. And the whole idea is, if you come and say, discipline me, or I want to evolve to a higher state of consciousness, that's what you're going to get. And the master will test where your ego is. So that's how he tested me. And so I didn't protest or rebel. And then Yogacharya went and sat on the chair just near the door when you go out of the dining hall. So then I had the guts to go and do pranams to him. And he went like that to me. And I knew that was a test, and I passed it. And then he became very friendly with me. He says, what brings you here? And I told him that, like, my father passed away, and My body is in a state of shock. I'm in pain. I'm not able to walk. He looked at me and he says, you will be perfectly all right next week. He says, you have toxic poisons in your body and you have to get rid of them. And he put me on the salt water thing, and and I don't think it was the salt water that healed me in 1 week. It was the power and his will to heal that made me completely well. And so what happened was I started coming to the ranch again, and then he said that I'll initiate you now into Kriya Yoga. I said, but Master, I have not taken the lessons. He says, you don't need them. But I said, please, can I do the 8 months of study and then you can initiate me? So he says, if that's your wish, yeah, but you don't need them. So then I took the lessons, and then he initiated me. So after 1 year, I was initiated by Yogacharya. So one day when I had come to the ranch, he took my hand and he says, walk me to the boathouse. And we walked up, and it was so blissful, my God, his company. And then suddenly he says, okay, let me check your Kriya. Let's see how you're doing it. Okay? So I did my Kriya, and he went the same way. He says, perfect, you got it. I said, how many should I do, Yogacharya? He said, do it till you can't do it, because you won't be able to do it. Hey, you'll be so blissed out, you won't be able to do anymore. But keep doing it, and as you do it, the bliss will emanate from your soul. So I was very grateful to him. And what happened was, there was a lady at Detroit Institute of Arts, American lady, 75 years old. She comes up to me and she says, you know that Yogacharya Oliver Black? I says, yeah, I know him. I don't believe in him. I says, good for you. I believe in him. So I walked away. Then she says, you believe in him? I says, yeah, I do. Why don't you take me to him? I want to test him. I said, okay. Her name was Lydia. So I took her to Yogacharya, and lo and behold, she had that chair in front of Yogacharya, and I had my fingers and toes crossed. I said, she's gonna get bombed. But nothing like that happened. She was getting royal treatment. She was so happy, he was friendly with her, and then all of a sudden, she kept staring at Yogacharya, staring, and then after the meal, she went and talked to him, and he was explaining to her. So I said, my God, what's happening? So later I asked Lydia, what did you talk to Yogacharya? And she said, you see, when I was eating my dinner, I saw smoke come from the window where the water is, the dam there. And from that window, it came into the dining hall over Yogacharya, and then the smoke settled and a lady's form appeared from there. And then the lady kissed Yogacharya on the left cheek, became smoke again, and it went out of the window as it came. So I couldn't believe it. I thought I was imagining. So I asked him after dinner, Yogacharya, was I imagining, or that smoke and the lady? Yogacharya said, no, you were meant to experience that. That was Amy's soul actually. And she just left, and so she wanted to bid me goodbye. So this is how then I realized that, look, the reason I got that treatment was I had that letter, which I never gave him. He's omniscient. I wanted discipline, and I wanted to evolve faster. And here's the lady who had a doubt and said, oh, is he real? So he fulfilled that desire too. That's what a master does, and I'm amazed. Now, this Lydia wanted to go back in 2 weeks to Song of the Morning Ranch. And I said, I'm not going, and there's going to be a bad storm. So, snowstorm. So she said, no, I'm going to drive. It's okay, I'll go slowly. And she went. And it was a whiteout just before Vanderbilt. So immediately she started praying, Yogacharya, please help me. I want to get to your ashram, and I don't know how to get there. Please help me. So all of a sudden, the bridge came next, and she saw Yogacharya from the navel up, filling the whole sky. And he said, take the next exit. So she couldn't believe it. So whatever came, and there was a sign, but it was covered with snow, but only the arrow was showing. So she just followed that track. And there were 2 tracks that led her to Song of the Morning Ranch. And then slowly she came through that storm. And as she came into the meditation room, Yogacharya said, "So I had to save you again, huh?" So this is what a master is all about. And so I thought that would take all the time. We are blessed to have met Yogacharya. To all those who knew him, my pranams.